Let's discuss the customer centricity and buyer concerns. Your customer objections are concerns that need to be understood through customer empathy and centricity. If you look at this chart here, you find in the y-axis risk at the bottom represented by the red line, solution represented by the green line, costs represented by the blue line, and needs represented by the dark black line. In the middle, you see solution, evaluation, and commitment columns. In the left side, in the y-axis, we have degree of buyers versus concern. So the graph is really it was written, and it's in the book of written by Bushworth and Howland, called Customer-Centric Selling, which I highly recommend, by the way. The diagram was developed by Neil Rackman, author of Spin Selling. It details the 4 variables involved regarding the buyer's concern when making a buying decision. Rackman conducted a study where he monitored about 1,500 salespeople on customer centricity and buying concern. And he found there is 4 variables from the top, as you can see in the y-axis, which is explain need. That it simply means, does the client have a real need for your product, services, or whatever that might be selling? A cost, how would it cost to get the product that you're selling? And the solution, obviously, is the solution the right fit? And number 4 is risk, which is represented in red. What are the risks involved here and the probability of failure? So these are all legitimate concerns when it comes to objections. But let's examine buyer concern and customer thinking process, right? So that's what chart really explains. Let's assume we want to buy a home. In terms of need, initially, let's say you want to get out of that rental home that you are right now, right? Maybe you want to get married or start a family or something like that. That's a need. Solution, what type of a home you're looking for, right? What kind of a house you're looking for to buy. Cost, what type of house can you potentially afford, right? A risk, during your initial search, risk is not really a factor here. You really don't think about it. You just want a home and you will figure it out as you go, right? Rackman stated that during the solution phase, as you can see represented the first column under solution, in terms of need, when you buy a home, you need is high. You need a home to get out of your renting position right now. The solution line represents start gaining momentum as you become more and more focused on finding a home. You start thinking, what can I get to solve this problem I am in? In terms of cost, look at the cost line. It's not a major concern really at this stage. A risk really are minimal. Really, they start growing a little bit, but it's still not really one of your main concerns. Now, when you move to the evaluation phase, right? Look at right in the middle under evaluation and look at the color lines. Solution become your highest priority at this stage. It's really top of mind. Need, notice the need is decreasing rapidly at this stage because your needs can be solved with the right solution, right? And if you look at the risk line, it starts to grow fast at this stage because now you are evaluating the option you have to buy a home and the risk attached to each and every single solution or option that you do have. The line of cost is still not really big significant at this level because you know what, you did not commit yet, you didn't sign anything, so cost is still not really huge priority. Then you move to the final phase, which is the commitment phase, right? That's the top right column under commitment. When you look at the risk line now, it becomes really your most significant concern. Here you worry about almost everything. You worry about finance, you worry about quality, you worry about value, you worry about equity, you worry about people's authenticity. You become quite alarmed and somewhat agitated. You really don't want to have any kind of surprises at all. And you will back away from any deal at this stage. For those of you that are in real estate, they will understand this. At the very end, the customer become really agitated, they become a little bit angry, they almost want to pull out of the deal, right? So you really have to know how to handle them at this stage. So this stage is where authentic professional selling matters the most. It would be best really to simplify complexity and give honest answers. You cannot, say the wrong thing at this stage because you will lose your customer trust very quickly. And also you need to pretty much hold their hand and guide them gently and confidently through this buying maze until they buy the home, right? Because that's what people need. This, regardless of their ability to buy a product or not, they really need you to pretty much help them understand complexity and simplify it and guide them at the same time. If you look at the cost line, it becomes the second biggest concern here. Customer hesitation at this stage is natural. Never offer price concession at this stage, because if you do, you put pretty much everything in question. The customer might think that you have hiked the price in the first place, and now in order for you to close the deal, you providing some level of concession. That might seem somewhat dishonest. Your customer actually might even start to question if it might be wiser to wait a little bit longer. What your customer often needs at this stage is really more assurance, not price concessions. Please pay attention to that, remember it. If you look at the solution line, it's no longer in question at all. They already find the solution. And in terms of need, the needs are already met at this stage. The customer already find the right house. So I hope you took some value out of this.